Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. Oh, wait, wrong show. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Tay, where we talk about TV shows or movies. Hope y'all doing wonderful on this Good Friday. Sorry that last week's episode was a day late. I apologize. However, let's get into today's topic. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find the Wayans Bros on Netflix or Hulu or any other paid subscriptions that I got. For some reason, it's not there. So I did a stand-in. I will get to the Wayans Bros hopefully next week. But this was more of a conversation about this TV show more than it is about a specific episode. But if you would love for me to do a specific episode, by all means, put it in the comments and I'll do one. Today we're talking about the Mac Man, as you could tell by the title and the thumbnail. So I want to bring up how with Bernie, excuse me, go sit down, please. I'm shooting something. I'll be with you in a second. Go sit down, mama. Go sit down, mama. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. My niece. Anyway, so we're talking about the Mac Man, Bernie Mac show. And one of the biggest things about the Bernie Mac show that I wanted to point out is I remember it was a time we used to be like, Bernie Mac show wouldn't made it through this time. Bernie Mac show wouldn't made it through this time. I would say, one thing I want to say about the Bernie Mac show is it was at the right place at the right time, for sure. But I do think that in today's time, current today's time, the Bernie Mac show actually would have survived. And it's living proof that the Bernie Mac show would have survived because Miss Pat show. Miss Pat show is very similar to the Bernie Mac show. Only difference is there's a lot more cussing in Miss Pat show, but that raw, real, uncut feeling that Miss Pat carries, Bernie Mac did it. The the show itself was kind of sort of ahead of its time, but you had shows like My Wife and Kids and George Lopez that were very similar to Bernie Mac's show when it came to the realism with family. But what makes Bernie Mac's show so legendary and separate from everyone else is it literally was Bernie Mac being Bernie Mac. It wasn't someone else being Bernie Mac. You know, the bloopers were funny as hell. It was comedy. Everybody on the cast, from Bernie on down to Baby Girl, everybody just fit so well and they fed off of each other. This was probably one of the first shows that I can say I actually enjoyed everyone in the cast. Because I'm gonna get a little backlash. But in My Wife and Kids, I'm sorry. Katie got on my nerves. Her character got on my nerves. So did Vanessa, but she wasn't as bad. And then uh uh well, not Vanessa. Was her name Vanessa? I think the sister's name was Vanessa. But then Junior's fiance slash baby mama, her parents got on my nerves. Ugh. They wasn't really the main cast, but they still got on my nerves. But on the Bernie Mac show, Bernie, Wanda, Jordan, Vanessa, baby girl, all of them fit perfectly. And they made the show what it is. And for me personally, I enjoyed watching the show because there was things that Bernie was saying when it came to disciplining the kids and when it came to when he talked to us, America, that was very true and very connective. That I had connection with what he was talking about. The the um the only thing about the Bernie Mac show that I feel like might have been missing was I had it. Dang it. It was someone I was watching one of the episodes. I was like, dang. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. Um, oh, I think it was missing more of his Chicago vibe. You know, like I would love to have seen more of his Chicago nativeness come through the show. I don't know if it's because he didn't live in Chicago, he lived in LA on the show. Um, but I do feel like there was more his Chicago vibe that they kind of toned down a tad bit. Um, Especially with the kids. For the kids to be from Chicago, it really it really was odd to see Jordan be soft. Um, just saying, it was odd to see him be soft, but he was very sneaky, conniving, and mischievous. But um, it was a little odd to see him be soft, to be honest. But the show itself was really good. I really wish we would have got more seasons of the Bernie Mac show. Um, just one second. Anyway, so with the Bernie Mac show, um, one thing that was very good about the show was the fact that it was put in a position where it was family oriented and it was very relatable. That's the word I was looking for instead of connecting. It's very relatable. It's very relatable in the sense that where our lives back then was very connected to that. You know, hearing you gonna get your head bust to the white meat, um, the show playing as we speak. And just how Bernie was with the kids is very similar to things that I've seen growing up. Just the same thing with the whole concept of the social worker when he kept trying to tell Mr. Cooley, when he kept trying to tell Bernie, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that's still true to this day that if you got a social worker in your life, they're gonna tell you what you can and can't say, uh, what you can't do. And it's like watching this show kind of let me go back in time and think like, damn, this show might have been ahead of its time, but came right on time at the same time. Do y'all get what I'm saying though? Like it was ahead of its time, but it was right on time. You know, like everything that those kids were experiencing, going through puberty, dealing with an overprotective parent, dealing with a not so protective parent, dealing with different personalities from your siblings, all of that was relatable, and especially for me because I had siblings like that were very similar to what you see on screen. Um, One thing about the show that I really truly loved was how you could tell they had fun on set. Now, Jordan and Baby Girl were rivals in real life, but you can still tell they had fun on set. You can still tell. The show itself is something that can't be redone. It can't be replicated. They can't do a remake because there is no other Bernie Mac. Like I said, the closest thing to it is Miss Pat show with how raw she is. Because Bernie Mac was very raw. The the uh the amount of cussing they allowed you to do, Bernie did it. The amount of smack talking, shit talking they allowed you to do, Bernie did it. The amount of let you be yourself that they allowed to happen, Bernie did it. I feel like Bernie started setting the standard and the trend for being able to be your authentic self on screen. Don't get me wrong, like I said, my wife and kids, Damon, his show was great. George Lopez show, great. But I feel like Bernie brought his comedic side and his authentic self onto that screen. Now I do feel like I said, some of the Chicago-ness wasn't as prominent in the show. I don't know if they were scared of it or not, but them kids didn't show being from Chicago, in my opinion. Well, maybe Vanessa, cause she was kind of tough, but Jordan, give or take. Um, but if y'all want me to talk about a specific episode from the Bernie Mac show, let me know. I really just wanted to get on here and talk about like the Bernie Mac show in a whole. Not a specific season, not a specific episode, just the show as a whole. Because I have a lot of respect for Bernie Mac, and I do feel like in today's time, these past 5 years, this show would have survived. Now I would say between 2018 up, no, not 2018, 2017 up until like 2021 ish, it probably wouldn't have made it because how sensitive everybody got in that time span. But I do think in today's time, 2024, 2025, 2026, this show definitely would have survived. I mean, hell, I'm still watching it. Excuse me. Whew. Excuse me. But what was it? It was something else. Oh, Bernie and Wanda's marriage. Um, it was very authentic because in most marriages, they showed what it's like when they mad at the spouse. They showed what it's like when one's, dealing with the kids all day and the other one's just living their life. Like the episode where Bernie and Wanda was invited to dinner by Wanda's boss, Duke. And Bernie felt like everybody was ganging up on him, which they was. They was making fun of him. Y'all gotta think, this man with kids all day, every day. His regular life turned upside down. So what do you expect? But the show, huh? Your nose? Okay, I'll get to it in a second. Can you give me 5 more minutes? Go check on your sissy, please. Sorry. But no, the show was great. It ain't gonna take 5 more minutes because they gonna keep bothering me. So I'm about to end up wrap the show. But they was ganging up on Bernie. Wanda could try to say they wasn't, but they definitely was ganging up on Bernie. But the show showed a level of what it's like to go from having no kids in your life to turn around. Hey, go sit. To having kids in your life and having to turn your whole life around to suit the kids, change up your lifestyle, go from being a full-time comedian to a full-time parent. Only thing that I always said about this show that I was always confused about is Bernie and his wife had their own child. So I was always kind of confused on why they never brought his own child into it, but I think Bernie explained why they kept his child out of the storyline. I have to go back and research it and double check, but I think he might explain why his child wasn't put in the storyline because he has a daughter. Um, and I always wonder, but honestly, the show itself has always been awesome. It's a great show. I'm glad that they still have it airing on different places and different platforms because I really do appreciate the show itself. I'm gonna sign out for now. Hopefully, I can give you guys a little longer episode next week. Like I said, if you want me to do a specific episode of the Bernie Mac show of a specific season, put it in the comments. If you have any other show you want me to do, put it in the comments. Mr. Bellamy, I'm going to find that Wayne's Brothers episode, and I got you. My niece is being loud. I'm going to get to you guys in next week. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me, rocking with me. Make sure you guys do me a big favor. That's like, comment, and share. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and get notified when I get on here and drop something new. Don't forget, Black Histories is always every Monday. I love y'all. Stay peaceful. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. I'm the Mac Man.